A deer-killing disease that invaded northeast Pennsylvania this winter is here to stay. Chronic wasting disease is like glitter. Andrea Corman, a biologist who studies it for the Pennsylvania Game Commission, said, "Once you have it, there's no way to get rid of it." Corman said at Penn State Hazleton. About 120 people attended to hear more about the disease that showed up on a deer farm in Sugarloaf Township. This disease is so difficult to eradicate, Corman said, because the irregular proteins called prions that cause it spread through the urine, feces, and saliva. Once in the ground and water, the prions can remain indefinitely. You can't tell by looking if a deer has chronic wasting disease, so only laboratory tests can determine that. While deer and other animals such as elk and moose that contract chronic wasting disease always die and there is no vaccine or treatment, the disease can incubate in them for up to 2 years while they continue to shed prions. To date, there is no strong evidence that chronic wasting disease infects people, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say, but research about risks to people who hunt and handle deer and whether they develop prion disease like mad cow or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease could take more than decades to conclude. Now that chronic wasting disease is present in northeast Pennsylvania, the Game Commission is testing all road-killed deer in Luzerne County and parts of Carbon, Schuylkill, Columbia, and Monroe counties to establish the current boundaries of the disease. Meanwhile, there are steps everyone can take. One is to stop feeding deer. Food makes the deer congregate where they can infect each other and contaminate the ground. And report road-killed deer or sickly deer. The Commission's hotline is 833-742-4868. Hunters can keep hunting. They're perhaps the best management tool that the Game Commission has for regulating the disease by thinning the herd. For hunters who do take deer from now on, however, the Commission advises wearing gloves when field dressing the animals and putting their high-risk parts in the trash so it goes to a lined landfill rather than dumping it into the woods where it can contaminate the ground with prions. Also, the Commission will test deer for free. Hunters can place the deer's head in testing bins, and the Commission will inform them of the test results, usually in a few days during archery season or less than 2 weeks after dropping one off during rifle season. Hunters can hold the meat until they get the results or ask their butcher shop to do the same, and then they can decide whether or not to eat the meat.